Okay, so now the odd case was interesting.
Yes.
You might say it was odd.
Odd.
All right, so let's see. What was challenging about the case where we started with an odd number? So they gave just one example of just starting with 5. So that was 2 and 3.
So for the odd cases, the problem was you had a bunch of 2s, but then you had a 3 at the end. And this kind of threw you off because...
Can you make that clarify that that's a 2?
2, comma, 3.
Yeah.
Then we have this 3 at the end. So you still want to do the same thing, which is chop up your 2s into groups of 3 and then replace the groups of 3 with 2 3s. But it's kind of hard with this extra 3 at the end. So what we wanted to do is make this case look like an even case. So first we thought it might look similar to the case where you have the same number of numbers, but they're all 2s. But this didn't work out. So this is n. This is n minus 1.
Yeah. Do you want to explain this one? What do we do next? Just because. Okay. Yeah. So the first thing we tried was just saying, hey, maybe this looks like similar to the case of n minus 1, but just that last 3 replaced with a 2. But there was a problem with that. Do you remember? Remember where there was a problem?
Yeah.
Maybe it was in, I think it might have been in still the length of it. Floor of n minus 1 over 3 plus 1 didn't really work out as the length.
Yeah, so let's see an example where that didn't work. Can you think of?
So I think it was when n was multiples of 6.
Okay.
So like when n was like, I don't know, let's see, 12 maybe?
Well, how about 6?
6, okay.
How about 6? So do what it would look like for 6 and then 7.
So you have...
So what does 6 look like, and then what does 7 look like?
So for a floor of n minus 1 over 6.
Well, no, just write out the cases.
Okay. So we have 2, 2, 2, and 3.
Okay, and what is it for 7?
7, we have 2, comma 2, comma 3. And that's the only case you can do.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So we learned, I think you're probably right, as we first saw this with 12 and 13. But we can, if we're just going to write them out ourselves, we can see it with 6 and 7.
So sometimes the number of...
We thought there was a relationship when your number was odd with the one before it. And what was that relationship? There was something at least that was the same.
Just the number of elements in your starting...
Yeah, the number of entries in the starting set was the same. But then it turned out the number of tables that you made as you went down was not the same. So we had to have a different observation.
So then we looked at n minus 3. And this would be the same as your n, just going up to this 2, taking away the 3. Then all you need to do is just add a 3 on the end.
Okay.
And this worked better because you didn't run into this problem.
Yeah, so it was really neat that the starting point, because we turned out, I only learned now, we did it backwards. The starting point was the same as n minus 1, just changing the last 2 to a 3. But actually, running down the loop was not the same as n minus 1. It was the same as n minus 3.
And then n minus 3 is easy because you can just do it for n minus 3.
Right, it's all 2s. That reduced it to our easier case. So there was actually some interesting math and sort of counting that we needed to do to set up the code. But once we had that, now we had our arms around what we needed to do to code it.
Yes.
All right, anything else you want to add to these challenges that we had trying to solve the problem?
I mean, what we learned is that it's actually helpful to write out what you're doing beforehand. Like we used the whiteboard actually to sort
Yeah.
of work with some example cases and sort of see what happened with different scenarios before we actually coded it.
Yeah, good. Yeah, it is really important, not just in math problem solving, but really in any kind of problem solving. In this case, it was computer programming, to make sure you have a good understanding of what you're doing before you just sort of dive in.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
All right. Hopefully, I still have the program that we wrote on the screen, and then we can talk about it. And if I don't have it on the screen, then I guess we're done.